If you're sitting on $1 to $30 million in net worth, the wealth management industry has essentially left you stranded in what I call the financial dead zone. You've outgrown basic personal financial advice, but you're not quite wealthy enough for those exclusive family offices reserved for the ultra rich. Sound familiar? Here's the thing. You don't need to accept being stuck in financial no man's land. I'm Christopher Nelson, a former tech CIO who went from managing other people's systems to managing my own $7 million portfolio. Today, I'm going to reveal the exact framework I use, the same wealth building advantages that billionaire families have been using for decades. This framework now generates consistent monthly cash flow that covers our family's essential expenses, giving me the ultimate luxury, time with my 3 boys. By the end of this video, you'll have a clear roadmap to take control of your wealth like the CEO of your own financial empire. But first, let me paint the picture of what this financial dead zone actually looks like and why it's costing you more than you realize. Traditional wealth managers treat you exactly the same whether you have $100,000 or $10 million. The same cookie cutter portfolios, the same generic advice. Meanwhile, families with $100 million or more operate in a completely different universe. They have dedicated single family offices with full-time teams costing $2 to $3 million per year to run, giving them access to private investments, sophisticated tax strategies, and institutional grade wealth management. So while you're sitting on concentrated stock positions, wondering what your next move should be, ultra wealthy families are systematically diversifying into income producing assets. The worst part, you have the capital to implement these strategies, you just don't have access to the playbook. You're literally in wealth management purgatory, too sophisticated for basic advice, but supposedly not wealthy enough for the real strategies. So you end up managing millions like somebody with thousands, leaving massive opportunities on the table. But here's what the wealth management industry doesn't want you to know. You can absolutely operate like a family office without the $100 million minimum or the multi-million-dollar overhead. This is where the micro-family office comes in. A micro-family office gives you institutional grade wealth management using 3 key innovations: fractional specialists instead of full-time staff, modern technology instead of expensive infrastructure, and proven frameworks that hand you the playbook instead of making you write it yourself. You get all the strategic advantages of how billionaires manage money, but at a scale that actually makes sense for your situation. Here's exactly how you build one from scratch using what I call the Wealth Ops framework. Think of this as your blueprint for going from wealth management amateur hour to operating like a seasoned family office. There are 3 distinct steps: architect, build, and run. Most people jump straight into picking investments, which is like building a house without blueprints. The architect phase is about getting crystal clear on your strategy before you make another investment. First, you create what I call your legacy statement. This isn't some feel-good exercise. This becomes your North Star for every financial decision you'll make. You can build all the wealth in the world, but without a clear legacy statement, you're just accumulating assets without purpose. Are you building wealth for early retirement, generational impact, funding a specific lifestyle? Write it down and make it specific. It's very easy to either skip this or rush it. Don't. Next, you develop your investment thesis. Your investment thesis is the strategic playbook that translates your goals and risk tolerance into specific actionable investment criteria that every opportunity must pass before earning a place in your portfolio. Based on your goals, timelines, and risk tolerance, what asset classes make sense for you? What percentage should go into income generating real estate versus public markets versus private investments? This becomes your master allocation blueprint that defines where you invest next. Every billion-dollar family office is run with an investment thesis. If you want help with these, be sure to check out our free training at wealthops.io or click the link below this video. We go deep into creating a robust legacy statement and investment thesis before moving on to more tactical aspects of the build phase. Finally, you complete a comprehensive assessment of where you are right now, your current assets, operations, and maturity level. This honest evaluation becomes your starting point for everything that you build next. With this complete, we can move on to step number 2. Now, here's where Wealth Ops really changes the game. We don't just tell you what to do, we give you the exact templates, processes, and frameworks you need to focus on execution. Think of it like getting the source code instead of just getting the documentation. The build phase focuses on 3 key areas. First, create your portfolio business structure, starting with a holding company that gives you the legal and tax foundation for a sophisticated wealth management business. I learned this the hard way after my IPO. I had all of this equity compensation sitting in my personal accounts, letting it bleed into my lifestyle. Once I implemented the holding company structure, game changer. We're talking a launch point to legitimate tax savings that compound over decades. Second, you develop your organizational chart, bringing on key partners and clearly defining their responsibilities and success factors is critical in your business. Here's what's different about the microfamily office approach. You're not hiring a full-time team like the ultra wealthy. Forget the one-size-fits-all financial advisors who claim to do everything. You need specialists. Your tax strategist who actually understands equity compensation. Your estate attorney who gets the tech wealth trajectory, and a good bookkeeper to handle all of your expenses. Yes, even personal one. This frees you up to be the CEO, focusing on what matters, reading the reports and managing the results. But unlike a single family office, you aren't hiring these people into full-time roles. These are fractional roles that you can lean on when needed. This could be a monthly retainer or an hourly rate. Third, you create a business launch plan that brings it all to life. This is your concrete roadmap for making your microfamily office operational with timelines, milestones, and accountability measures. Just like launching a product in tech, you need sprints, deliverables, and measurable outcomes. No more, someday I'll get my finances organized. This is your deployment schedule for wealth operations. To complete steps 1 and 2, you can expect 90 days, assuming you can give a few hours per week to it. The templates are already built. The frameworks are tested. You just need to execute. And once done, this is where the real fun begins. You're moving on to step 3, the run phase. This is where your microfamily office becomes fully operational using a predictable rhythm. You're not managing every tiny detail. You're operating at the strategic level with a systematic cadence. The run phase operates on what I call the run cycle. Every quarter, you plan your strategy, assess your performance, divest from underperforming or over-concentrated positions, invest according to your thesis, monitor your progress, operate your systems, learn from results, and optimize for the next cycle. The key is that every year you develop an actual business plan for managing your portfolio quarter over quarter. You're literally treating your wealth like the sophisticated business it deserves to be, with clear objectives, measurable outcomes, and systematic execution. This isn't about micromanaging every investment decision. It's about creating a predictable operating rhythm that ensures your wealth is working as hard and as smart as you are. Here's what surprises most people. With this operating rhythm in place, your results accelerate faster than you expect. When you consistently measure and manage your portfolio like this, it grows like a well-tended garden. Compound returns become inevitable, not accidental. Let me give you some real numbers on what changes when you operate using this Wealth Ops framework. First, cost efficiency is dramatic. A traditional single-family office requires $2 to $3 million per year minimum just to keep the lights on. A properly structured microfamily office typically runs between $15,000 and $150,000 a year annually, depending on your complexity, and it often pays for itself through smarter tax strategies alone. I know for myself, I pay around $27,000 a year for my microfamily office, and that is 0.4% to manage the whole thing. That's incredible value. Second, you get real control and transparency. Instead of wondering what's happening with my money and getting generic quarterly reports, you know exactly where every dollar is, why it's there, and what it's supposed to accomplish. Third, true scalability. The same frameworks that work efficiently with $3 million work beautifully with $30 million. Your microfamily office grows with your wealth instead of becoming a bottleneck. These are three of the main reasons I manage my $7 million portfolio using the Wealth Ops framework. Now, I can already hear the objection. Christopher, this sounds like it would take over my life. Let me be straight with you. You're either going to spend time properly managing your wealth, or you're going to spend time lying awake at night worrying about whether it's being managed properly. The Wealth Ops framework is specifically designed for busy, successful people. The heavy lifting happens during the build step, which takes a few months to complete properly. Once you're operational, you're looking at maybe 8 to 12 hours per month, less time than you'll probably spend researching your next car purchase. And here's the beautiful part. You don't need to become a financial expert overnight. You're building a system that leverages real experts while keeping you in the driver's seat for the big strategic decisions. The alternative is staying stuck in the financial dead zone, hoping your current approach somehow magically starts working better. Look, if you have $1 to $30 million in net worth and you're ready to implement the Wealth Ops framework, but need some more direction, I invite you to check out the free training I recently recorded. In this training, I'm going deep on the architect and build phases so that you have what you need to get your microfamily office off the ground. Just head to wealthops.io or click the link down below this video. And if you're wondering how a $2 million portfolio running the Wealth Ops framework can realistically generate $20,000 per month in income without touching the principal, this video is going to blow your mind. See you soon.